Hi, thanks, Tanis, and thanks everyone for your time. We won't keep you very long. My name is Jason Roy. My partner here today is Adam, and we both work for Front Door Plus. I'm the co-founder of the company, and just a little bit about us, where we come from. We have been in business, I think, since 2017, and our platform has been designed from the ground up to work with fairs and festivals and in areas that are agricultural related. A lot of our users, whether they're running events or they're coming and buying a ticket on our website, it might be their first time. So we're very cognizant of making our platform simple and easy to use for three main folks. The people, in this case, the farms that are trying to sort of negotiate how many people are coming to your farm. The people buying the tickets, it's very important that that's an easy process for them. And then the third person is the people that are checking in people either through the guest checkout, which we're going to show you, the guest check-in, or scanning tickets if you want to scan tickets. It's very important that process is straightforward and easy to use. So I believe the way it's going to work this year with Suzanne and Tanis and the gang is when people want to attend your farm, they're going to go through the Open Farm Days website. The people that want to come are going to pick the farms they want to go to, and it's going to hand them off to our website, and they're going to be able to pick what part of the day they're going to want to come, and that'll be based on your forms that you submitted to the ACE folks. If your event is a free event, it's going to be a really easy checkout for the buyers. Just a little bit of information about them. One thing we do collect that'll be handy for you guys and also for the ACE folks is their postal code, just to get a general idea of where people are coming from. I know this is a popular weekend, so it's nice to know generally where people are coming from. So we'll have that information to share after the weekend's over. And the way it's going to work is very simple. Suzanne and Tanis are going to, and myself and Adam are going to preload the information into our system. And really all that happens on your side, and we're going to go through our presentation here in a second, is you're going to have an app on your phone or your iPad that you're going to be able to load up very easily and see how registration is going leading up to the morning of the weekend when people are going to be showing up. So you have a general idea of who's coming between 9 and 10, 10 and 11, or whatever those timeframes are. And you're not going to have to rely on having to reach out to Suzanne to get sort of that information. It'll be live in the app. So it's going to be very nice, especially if the weather's warm, to know what's going on and how popular certain timeframes are going to be. So what we thought today, Adam and I would do is just show you a little presentation, very straightforward, on less of what the client or the person that's deciding to go to your farm is going to see, and more of like, how is it going to work for you on the back end when the weekend comes? So I'm just going to spin up our quick little presentation here. I don't know if I see there's one chat question. I don't know if there's a question, Tanis, that is related to what I've said so far.
No, it's just a link. You're good to keep going.
Awesome. So I'll just bring this up here. And this will be available after the meeting. We're going to make this available to Tanis and the gang. Just going to bring this up real quick. So our guest check-in app, so it's an app that you can download from both app stores on pretty much any phone, Android and Apple. You're going to be given a PIN code, because I'm not a huge fan of username and passwords because I can't remember that stuff anymore. So you're going to be given a PIN code to get into the app to see how registration is going for your farm on the Open Farm Days weekend. So as mentioned, you can get it from both app stores. Very easy to use. I'm going to show you a couple screenshots here in a second. As mentioned, not a huge fan of passwords. So you're going to be given a 4-digit PIN that whoever's working that day and sort of trying to corral the people will be able to log in to the app with the 4-digit PIN. And once you're in, you'll be able to see not only a list of the ticket times that are coming and the number of people, but also be able to look people up by name, which I'm going to show here in a second. In our world, there's three types of tickets that people could get, even if they're free or paid. Some people will add them to their Google wallet or their Apple wallet, which is just a digital wallet on your phone, where people are putting their debit and credit cards. So you'll see that the two on the right here is what the ticket will look like if they show up to your event and they just turn their phone and say, yeah, I had my ticket to come at 11 o'clock or the morning. It's going to look very similar to the two on the right. And then the one on the left is the PDF. So everyone that registered to come to your farm is going to get one of these three things that they're going to end up showing at the gates to get in. If you are scanning, if you're not scanning or checking people, they'll just show you this and be good to go to experience your farm. If you're into scanning QR codes, you may or may not want to do this. The paid events may want to do this, but the free events, you may just want to say, hey, thank you for registering and come on in. This is just showing how easy it is to scan from the app, and it's very straightforward. There's a screen. You just get the QR code placed in the square, and it's going to let you know if the ticket is valid or not. In this type of scenario, people are probably signing up. They're not trying to scam, especially with free tickets. If you are running an event that is paid, you may want to scan and check people in from their from either the QR code or by their name. And the reason to do that is actually to see, like, afterwards when people arrived and be able to sort of slice and dice that information if you're into that. But at the end of the day, I think it's more important that you just know how many people are coming in different time slots, and that the people get in and enjoy their experience with their family for that day. But very, very straightforward in either case. The other alternative is, rather than scanning a QR code and having that friction, is if you do want to check people in, you can just ask for the name of the person that bought the tickets. And as you can see here in the short video, it literally is just a lookup. It's like a digital guest list, and you can look up people's names by typing in part of their name or their email address and checking them in with your thumbs instead of actually scanning a QR code. Again, free events, you're probably not necessarily going to want to do this, but the option's there if you want to do it. I think it's more important that you see who's coming and what time, so that you can be ready for the herd as they show up in the mornings and the afternoon sessions. And we just mentioned some of the benefits here. Again, these notes are more for bigger events or for paid events. And it's just, we've really tried to make our platform, including this check-in process that we're showing today, very straightforward and easy to use. Anyone can do it. In the fair world, we notice volunteers are kind of handed phones last second, scanner phones, and asked to go work the gates and get that up and running. So we wanted to really make that experience for those people working the gates straightforward. And as you can see, reduces wait times and just improves the guest experience. Again, larger scenarios, this is our forte. But here, this is going to make your lives easier. And again, I think it's because it's the access to the information live. You can come into the app anytime leading up to the weekend to see how registration is going and what parts of the day people are going to be coming. And that's pretty much it. Very straightforward, very easy to use. Our goal in talking to the ACE people, I'll just turn this off for a sec here. The goal in talking to Suzanne and Tanis and the gang is to make their lives easier, but also make your lives easier in the sense of you get the information you need access to, because it's probably going to be another popular day. People are really anxious to get out and get some fresh air and come to your farm. So just knowing who's coming and what times is critical. As Tanis mentioned, we do have an option for paid events. So if there's any farms that want to do hay rides or anything that's pay related, we can definitely talk offline and help you guys out that way. This is our forte, and this is the world we work in, so we can help you that way. But we really want to see an open farms day really go well, and hopefully we can help everyone achieve that and hit some records across Alberta. And that's pretty much it, Tanis, unless, Adam, you have anything to add or if any questions come up, but it's very straightforward.
And I think you covered everything, Jay. Just go into questions if anything comes up.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you very much. So what we love about this platform, it's very user-friendly. And I think one of the most important things is a lot of our farm guests are, our host farms are very interested in knowing kind of that up-to-date registration. So this really provides that great opportunity for access to that kind of information. So we're very excited about working with you guys. So thank you. So we'll go to some questions here. I think we've got one that's just popped up from Donna. Costs. There are no costs to you. Anyone that is working with Open Farm Days and hosting the free event part, this will help you manage your timing. It'll let you know how many people you need for parking at certain times, how many people you need for tours, that kind of thing. It'll allow us to kind of control the time zones, all those sorts of things. For those of you that are going to be doing saleable stuff, whether it's ticketed dinners, whether it's lunches, or different specific things, there are costs, and they are comparable to those for Eventbrite. And Adam can help you kind of work through what those costs look like and stuff like that, so we can get you set up. So for all of the farms, all of that information that you provide to us will be part of your platform. It'll roll over. And if you are setting yourself up separately for ticketing, then we can kind of get into those sorts of stuff. If you've got a specific question about costs and what you're looking to do, I'm sure the guys are happy to take those questions as well. So we've got another question. We have very sketchy cell service, so phones can be a problem. I'm assuming we can also have a print copy at the gate.
That's a great question, Tanis. And yes, so if your cell service is like, let's say 80% close to 100% sketchy, our system will work sort of pseudo online offline. But if it's not very if it's not really good service, you can either go on Wi-Fi, or the ability to download the guest list, we'll call it, the number of people coming broken down is definitely easy to do from our system. And straightforward. So I think the deal might be that you could get that in the morning of the Saturday if you needed that request, based on your cell and Wi-Fi service.
Yeah, great. And I think we know that in that weekend, sort of leading up to Open Farm Days, Nicola can probably talk about our numbers a little better, but we had over 1 million visits on the website that day of. So we do know that there are last minute, people on the website and checking out stuff. But that lead up, we have a lot of strong reservations that come through. The one thing to point out, we do know that there'll be a lot of locals that will be coming around, and we know that they won't bother to register. So we know that the numbers won't be 100% accurate, but this gives you a really good sense for planning of what to expect. So, I think this is just really such a great tool. Jason, did you want to answer any of the questions about costing? Talk a little bit about if people want to set up stuff for ticketed events, because we do have a lot of farms that do have some of that. So if you wanted to share a little bit of information, it might be helpful.
For sure. So we, the easiest thing to do is we can chat with people offline about that. We've tailored our pricing to be, you mentioned Eventbrite. Everyone compares us to Eventbrite, and that's totally fine. So we've always priced ourselves in a way that we're in line or cheaper than Eventbrite. It all depends on the ticket price. And very cheap tickets, let's say a $5 or $10 ticket on Eventbrite, actually gets quite expensive for either the buyer or the organization, depending on who's absorbing the fees. In our world, because we have flexible pricing, we can make that very, very appealing, especially if it is a smaller, a lower price ticket. But that's something we can discuss. There's two ways to work with the fees. You can either pass them down to the buyer. So let's say you're selling a $10 ticket, you would pass down our fee. There's always two fees, and a lot of companies don't do this. They bake it into one line. And there's always two fees. There's the fee of the company. I have a mortgage I got to pay, but I don't need to make all the money. Just a little bit is fine, right? And very, very comfortable fee. And then there's the service fee for credit cards, taking credit cards online. And that's where the banks come in. That's typically 2.9%. That's something that they take, and it's just the nature of the beast. We all deal with that. Some people just don't disclose that, and I think it's important in my world that I disclose everything and make them comfortable. I go to hundreds of concerts a year, and I'm starting to get Ticketmaster sort of grief because I just don't want to pay the fees that are there, and they don't have to do that. You can make this a viable operation and still have respectable fees. So that's something we can discuss offline, and we'd be more than happy to help out anyone that wants to do something like that.
Wonderful, thank you. And we will make sure that everyone has their contact information so you can ask questions directly as well. We had another question from Lisa about, do we have many people that show up without tickets? So what I'll say to that is we're going into year number 11 for Open Farm Days. And we have had some sort of ticketing platform since COVID. So 2019 is the first year that, or sorry, 2020 is the first year that we've had ticketing. So we have a lot of consumers that are not used to registering, so they just show up. But what I will say is the vast majority of them will register. What we have heard back from our farms is the ones typically that don't register are your neighbors, because they feel like they can kind of drop in on you. So typically those will be the ones that won't register, and that's sort of hard for us to get to them. They just want to come by and support, so they sort of feel welcome to do that. But I would say the vast majority do register. And when we have our time slots, which are time slots that you are able to set, that will really help you to be able to organize it. And then when that time slot is full, it will show up as sold out for that time. So they will know that they need to, you then will have the opportunity of changing your number. If you want to allow for more people, you can go, oh my gosh, my 10 to 11 time slots full. I can probably change that number from 30 to 50, or you can be in control of those things, but it can allow you to also try and spread your consumers out, which is, I think, one of the best benefits of this booking tool. Is if some people see, oh my gosh, 10 o'clock's sold out, so I will go at noon instead. That will allow, this tool will help you pace your event, and I think that's really one of the best features for it.
Yeah, and I'll just back that up too, Tanis, and saying that when you give people, like, you show them the options, most Canadians are pretty good about sticking to their slot. You know what I mean? There will be some that come a little earlier, a little later, but what you're trying to do is you're just trying to spread people out. Like we see it at fairs. I wish I could do this at the fairs, even locally, where everyone comes at like 11 a.m. and they come at 4 p.m. And it's just like, man, if I could spread you folks out a little bit and make it easier. And that's what this tool is going to enable to happen on the farm days.
Yeah. Wonderful. I don't see any more questions. I know that it's a bunch of new information for people, but if you've got anything else, you can pop it into the question. Otherwise, what we will do is we'll circulate this video. We will provide the contact information for Jason and Adam. Jason, can you let us know, so what should we call you for, and what should we call Adam for our guests that are here today?
Jay, I think
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think you can direct questions to both of us. Anyone that's interested in doing a paid event that needs more information could probably reach out to me.
Okay.
And that would be the reason that we need the paid people to reach out to us directly, is because there's money involved, right? So we can't run it through ACE because they need to get their money directly. So that's sort of the difference. The free stuff is registration based through ACE. Anybody that wants information about paid events should reach out to me directly, and we would be sort of dealing with you separately outside of the free registration. You can always direct it to both of us, but I think probably the best bet would be to flow everything through me. Jay, you can nod or agree.
No, I totally agree, and we're going to talk about it anyways, and try to help, because at the end of the day, just sort of outside of Open Farm Days, is we really want to educate people on how this ticketing world works. It's been around for 20 years, but there's still parts of the world that are a little slow to adopt, and I'm cool with that. Adam's cool with that. We always joke, we don't want grandmothers mad at us, right? We're here to actually help and educate. Even if you just have questions on how does this stuff work and how can it benefit me, by all means, reach out to Adam and we'll help you guys out. I want to make sure everyone understands how this works and how it can be leveraged. And we have some really great stories from local agricultural societies here who have used it, and they're not looking at like a bad or two bad events in a row that's going to like really bankrupt them. They've actually turned the corner a little bit by just introducing digital ways to bring in some revenue. So not looking to kill off any really cool sort of old school ways to do things. I'm just looking to help people educate and give you like another path to help those fixed costs. And if we can just cover our fixed costs for whatever event we're doing, I think we'll all be good as ag societies and as farms.
Okay,
So,
Jason, I've got a couple of quick questions. If we do have some farms that have like large protein boxes and stuff that they will sell sort of $100 plus. And then we also have people that will sell, a dozen eggs and you're somewhere between $4 and $7. When we're taking a look at add-on pieces for events, that's one thing, but what about saleable items for pre-order or things like that? What would you recommend?
Those are great sort of, I call them like upsells, and that's a great way to sort of, again, bring in a little bit more revenue from someone who's seen something and decided that they want to partake, whether it's getting a dozen eggs when they come to your farm, or they get to walk away with a nice freezer full of meat. You can do that with our platform. Not everything has to be a ticket and admission. That's kind of like an add-on saying, I'd like to buy these three things before I head there. And then it's just a nice, easier experience when you're on site to show, basically you're showing a receipt and you're getting something in return. So that's definitely doable, Tanis.
Okay, so because I do think that some of the places might like that pre-sale opportunity. It also lets our consumers know, either, they can pre-purchase stuff, or then they know what they want to buy, even if they choose to buy it on the spot instead of order it ahead of time. Then they've got an idea of that's what it costs as well. So I wonder also if, it's hard to know how many people will use it on site versus there, but it sort of sets you up to let you know what is saleable for those farms that are kind of well prepped and ready for that. So whether it's a lunch package or any saleable items that you may have.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much. If there's no other questions, I think we'll wrap this up. Oh, Nicola.
Sorry, I just wanted to read it just as we're kind of closing up. So if this is something like, so cases, I see a couple new farms here that have never participated in Open Farm Days before. I'm not quite sure how to get started. What is the first thing they should do? Should they be heading to your website, or should they be contacting you?
So this is for if they're going to do paid events or
any. So let's say they're like, yes, I want to do booking system. What's the next step for them?
Tanis, are they, so if they're new, are they pre-set up in your system and then that data flows to us as far as setup? Because we'll handle setting up everything on our side.
Okay. So should they just contact us then if they're ready to move forward?
So all the free registration stuff, if you're using it just for registration free, it's through ACE. So that would be through I think everyone that wants registration is going to be given like a form for like some setup questions, and we're going to set it all up. Anyone that wants to do paid stuff can contact us directly, and we can give the contact information, or you can get us through our website. That's fine too.
Perfect. Okay, so we will be in contact with everybody then with information shortly.
Regarding the free registration stuff for sure. Okay. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, I think that's it for us for today. So thank you, everyone. And thank you both for joining and sharing this. We're really excited to be working with you this year, and look forward to making this the best Open Farm Days yet.
Awesome. Thanks for your time, Tanis, and everyone else too for dropping in. It's a pleasure to have a few minutes to chat. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.